Hello. Episode 2, Unspoken in Divorce. Welcome back. How are we doing? I'm just going to dive straight into it. I often think about the different types of topics that I can talk about on here, and they're just so varied. Sometimes I think I should start at the beginning, things that you want to know about the divorce process, why it's tricky divorcing someone toxic, and then I think maybe I should just talk about the sort of top topic that came through from clients in the week. There are so many things. I'm going to start off, I'm going to talk about mediation. I'm going to talk about mediation because whatever jurisdiction that you are in, mediation is kind of the first thing that we're having to do, right? And I want to talk about the hope that we take to mediation and how we really need to understand how much it is of a strategic step for us and how to use it that way. Because let me tell you something, the narcissist is using it as a strategic step. They're not coming to the table to compromise, by the way, but more about that later. So in the UK and whatever, in the UK most definitely, and potentially in many jurisdictions out there, certainly with a lot of my clients, but again, this depends on the jurisdiction that you are in, mediation has to be attempted first. It's one of those things. Show us that you have tried something alternative, that you're not coming to the court system, not even tried to compromise. And it's just ridiculous, isn't it? Because the concept of narcissist and compromise do not fit together. This will never work, won't come together. Now, there may be some exceptions. If you are here in the UK, domestic abuse, domestic violence means that you can tick the exemption box and don't do mediation. However, I've got a lot of clients that fall under that exemption and actually say, no, I want to try. I really want to try and do mediation. And there's a lot to say about that. Are we doing that because we're scared? Are we doing that because we don't want the finger wagged at us going, you didn't even try? Are we doing that because we still desperately are thinking that they might be reasonable and this is our one opportunity to kind of see? Are we doing that because we want to be able to kind of go, well, at least I tried the nice way and it didn't work? Do we not have the strength and ability because we've just been beaten down and we don't trust ourselves anymore to kind of say, actually, no, I'm not even giving you an opportunity to mediate because you will never compromise. And I have my exemption under domestic abuse, so go, I'm not even doing it. Or I have heard a lot of my clients say, oh, I'm going to try. So it's interesting to explore that notion. Why are we trying? In any event, let's say you do get to mediation, whether there is that domestic abuse exemption or not. We have to make sure that we're not entering into that with us hanging on to the concept that perhaps when the narcissist sees that we're doing something official, maybe they might start to think, maybe they'll start to consider the consequences, maybe they'll start to wonder, maybe they need to kind of compromise with me. No. The narcissist has absolutely no respect, barely for the legal system. So on what level do you think that they're going to respect a mediator? The narcissist functions within and certainly you'll probably see this maybe in the way that they deal with their jobs or their businesses or their family. It's literally, does that rule really apply to me though? And how can I maybe be exempt from it? And how can I dodge it? And actually that's not really working. Do I really need to take you seriously? Is now the time that I need to take you seriously? Or do I have sort of a bandwidth? Which is why in the legal process, they don't listen to court orders. That's why they're really delayed with position statements. That's why they're late with discovery, because they're like, yeah, I know it's a line, but I think actually I can push that line. So they're not coming to the mediation table because they respect the mediator on any level, and they're certainly not coming to the table because they respect you. On the contrary, they're on a fishing expedition. They want to see, what is it that I can find out about you? Because I know about you that if I say the right things and I conduct myself in the manner in which you are familiar, you might give me a golden nugget. And that golden nugget might give me some leverage against you. Or also, I might use it as an opportunity to remind you of how powerful I am and how really you should be afraid of me. And actually, do you really want to come head to head with me in court? Because I don't think it's going to work. Another opportunity to maybe scare you with some truth bombs like, well, how are you going to afford the house? And I want the children 50-50. And what do you think that looks like? All of these things they're doing because bringing you to the mediation table means that they can do these things not just by text message. If you're living together, obviously they can tell you. Or if you're not living together, text message, email. But now I have an opportunity to do this right in front of you. And I want to see impact of that on you. I want to see how worried you are, because that will bring me comfort. Because I'm slightly worried. We're a few more steps ahead than you've ever threatened before, actually, in a mediation session. So I'm just trying to wonder, have you changed? Are you a little bit different, or are you still the same? That is why they potentially mediate. They want to scare you enough, show you the power that they're going to come with, so that you go, oh, they're going to be a nightmare. I need to concede, not compromise, concede. That's what they're hoping. So this is why my sessions with my clients prior to their mediation sessions are so important, because I'm just being realistic about what to expect. Expect nothing. Expect it just to be a session to potentially you see what they've got to see. So while the narcissist sits there in all of their glory, I want you to hear me, I want you to be afraid of me, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do because I'm so smart and someone has to hear me. I'm such an intelligent person, I'm going to tell you about all of my tricks, that they want to scare you, derail you, make you vulnerable, make you feel like it's going to be a nightmare. So I'm just going to hint at the type of things that I'm going to do, as I said, to scare you. So use that. Listen to what they're saying. I mean, you're going to be scared and that's fine, but don't let it push you back. On the contrary, bring that information to me and then we can strategize, because they're telling you exactly what they're going to do. So let's use that. We obtain leverage. I say that to my clients. Go to the mediation session in order to obtain leverage. What can you learn? A lot of my clients come to me going, I have absolutely no idea what they want, whether they're going to stay in the house, how they want to see the children, what they're, I don't even know whether they've changed jobs. Like, I know nothing. Well, let's use the mediation session to find out. But I say this really importantly. I never want clients to go ahead on a mediation session if you feel that it is breaching some personal boundary. Like I said, if you have got those exemptions for domestic abuse and domestic violence, do not put yourself in a position where you are not protecting yourself. Protecting yourself is the most important thing. You have to do that. So do not put yourself in an environment that you feel will just crush your nervous system. Don't do that. We can find out about their leverage at another opportunity. So only do this if you feel that you are strong enough. So I really want to be clear about that. I am not advocating on any level for someone that has undergone and is a survivor of domestic abuse and domestic violence to put themselves anywhere near a room like that. For a lot of my clients, it's just not a possibility. But yeah, we're using, potentially if you decide to do it, that as an opportunity to gather all of that information that could be pertinent. It could be really informative. Be right, I had absolutely no idea. Now I know what they're going for. I mean, there's going to be no compromise because it's so far-fetched to anything that we can sort of do to work together. It's never going to work, but at least I've had an opportunity to hear it straight from them, what they're intending or what they're thinking. Now I can go away and work with that. Whereas before you didn't think that maybe they had any likening for the house, or maybe you thought before that, they'd maybe go for a little bit more than, or a bit less than 50-50, and now and behold, you're kind of hearing it new. So you're literally, at least you're dealing with, because sometimes when we get this application, there isn't that much on it. We don't know, and the narcissist hasn't been very vocal about what they want to do. So this is an opportunity to hear it directly from them and use it. It is useful, or it might be a repetition, but that's okay. And if we're having to do mediation because we need to tick a box, that also is okay. I just want you to not say very much in that. I don't want you telling them what you want. I don't want you telling them what you don't want. I don't want them telling you that you're worried or that you're concerned. Any emotional discussion, display, any information that you are giving in that way is an advantage for them. A, they want to double check that you're scared. A, they want to double check what you're thinking. And then they're just going to weaponize all of that. Classic. Oh, I want to stay in the house. Lo and behold, I think we need to sell the house. Because if I push on this pressure point, it'll scare you and you'll deviate and you'll give me something else. Because I know they're playing the chessboard just as much as we are. And if I hear one more person saying, oh, you're playing a game, can't play a game with... It's not that it's playing a game. It's just that the narcissist is 100 steps ahead of you, both emotionally, they vacated way before you even realised, but strategically, because they had time. So I'm just trying to catch you up. If you think that playing fair here is going to get you anywhere, it's not. And maybe you do want to play fair, and that's absolutely fine. But you need to accept the consequences that if you try and play fair with someone that plays dirty, there is no winning for you here. Life is not fair. It's not. So you have to be smart about what you're doing, which is why you have to be strategic, which is why I'm all about the strategy. So you might have one session, you might have 5. What happens? Or maybe you might compromise, concede on some things. It might be advantageous. Remember, any one narcissist is not the same. Maybe you've agreed on something and definitely not on something else. And that's the bit that's going to be the fight. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you know, never, ever, ever. It depends on where on the spectrum we are finding the particular narcissist that you are dealing with. This is why a lot of my clients are like, oh, let me consider this mediation session just to either double check that I know that they're completely unreasonable, or I just want to double check to see whether actually we could come to some compromise and we definitely can't, so I know that's off the table, or actually there was something there. I get it, I do get it, but again, saying don't put yourself at risk. So there you go, mediation. Use it as an opportunity to figure out what their game plan is, to the extent that they're willing to tell you. They could also manipulate that session to kind of feed you off on a different run. But, you know, again, we analyse that information, we look into it. Or it could be that they're just refusing to attend altogether because they want to make life difficult for you and they just want to go to the court process. Again, is that delay? Is that procrastination? It's part of the makeup. It's part of the profiling that helps us understand what their next step is and why they didn't go to mediation, or why they did, or they only went for one session. It's part and parcel of the person that I've identified, I've profiled, so I can then predict, because of the dynamics of your relationship, I know what they're going to do next. Anyway, there it is, mediation session. So think about it. Think if it works for you. But be true to you, I think, is the main key. Be true to you. Don't lie to yourself about what you can put up with, because damaging or threatening or exposing your nervous system after you are in recovery and trying to recover is no easy feat. And they're just not worth it. So there you go. Unspoken in divorce. Until next time.